So when the panel is on, you still have access to the fuel filter and the oil filter. You've got your lift pump that draws fuel from the tank. That's driven directly by the main high pressure pump. This is permanently oil fed from the engine, which is this feed here. On the earlier ones, you would have had to have checked the oil level, drain it, but on this model, it feeds through here and drains into the front casing and back down. So this, you don't need to worry about that. That's self-regulating. I've taken the air box lid off this piece just to show you in here. This is your main cooling fan, which forces air through here, forces it through the oil cooler. Admittedly, this one needs another clean again. These you need to keep clean. It's very important that you don't let too much muck get in here. It doesn't take much to clog the fins up on the cylinders and the head. You've also got an oil cooler there for the hydraulics. This was quite bunged up when I bought this, so it's a good idea to blow it out with an airline. I also use a little handheld leaf blower just to blow the dust out and leaves and grass, whatever else it picks up. These pipes, they're also encased in the shroud, so these get cooled by the air being put through here. So this is quite a neat idea. Some air-cooled engines run them on the outside, but Deutz, they run them on the inside. Now, as you can see with this fan, this is a bit grubby. This needs to be kept as clean as you can because obviously dirt on fins, they don't flow so well. Some people suggest when you've cleaned these, paint them a different colour, like yellow, so you can see when they're getting dirty. That's a good idea. I might do that if this is still serviceable once I've taken it off and cleaned it. The other areas inside this engine you want to keep an eye on: rocker covers. These do have a habit of weeping a little bit, so I'm going to have to sort these out, because what happens, you get residue and then muck builds up, especially down in here, and then it clogs up these galleries, so you want to avoid that if you can. So moving along, that's your oil cap for the engine. On the front here you've got your fan belt. Pretty basic setup on this one, there's not too much fancy stuff going on here. This is your cable for your RPM hour meter, alternator, your fan, and that's pretty much it on the front here. The alternator is adjusted by a ladder tensioner. It's got teeth, so you slacken the 13mm here and 13mm on the alternator itself, and then you turn this, I think it's 19mm by the look of it. You turn this and this will push the alternator up to tension the belt. It's a nice way to do it. You don't have to fuss about with crowbars or pulling on it and messing about. It's a good idea. Big battery, it needs it, especially winter time. This has been fitted with LED lights. I'm not sponsored by the company I bought them from or anything. I bought these upright. Up front, I meant. These are from Lycom. I bought these because I'm not too keen on the style of them. I would have liked a more original look, but they come with an adapter plate, so they fit straight on the original housing. They come with new fittings, there's no messing around, but they give off a good light. It's just the styling. It is what it is. It's growing on me, but they do fit nice. They're straight plug on, there's no modifications needed. That adapter ring fits on various DX models as well. So yeah, it's a nice little bit of kit. So on this side, you've got your wiring harness that goes to your lights. There would have been a windscreen wash bottle, that's long gone, that's disappeared. It also goes to your alternator wiring. It's on a sort of half harness. There's a plug here that goes into the back of here then, so you can remove it without fussing at the back. That's a nice little idea. It does mean it can get corroded in here, so you need to check that. So your airbox, you've got a pretty standard setup. You've got your primary and you've got your inner filter. There is a sensor here to put a light on the dash to say that the filter's getting clogged. Usual dust outlet need to keep an eye on that that's not full of muck. The horn, I'll show you the horn there at the top. So the horn is also tied into the temperature sensor on the engine. Now that's over here. This fella here, that's tied in with your horn. This is on number 1. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So when this reaches its peak temperature, you'll get a light on the dash. Looks like a thermometer. And it's also tied into your horn, so your horn will go off to tell you that it's getting too hot. Of course, it'll only set the horn off if the horn works. The wiring was already in place for this. This is a gauge probe that's screwed into number 2, and then there's a gauge on the dashboard to give you an idea of what the temperature is doing. I like to have a gauge on there. You don't have to. This will go off and tell you, but at least you've got an idea of what's happening. If it's starting to really creep up, if it's getting really hot, you've got some forewarning that you need to ease off. What else have we got here? Let's have a look. So on this side, inlet exhaust, these Deutz engines, that's predominantly how they're set up. Some models, it won't be a DX3, it'll be a DX4, I think. They've got turbochargers fitted. That's a BF4 series. This is an F4. It's naturally aspirated. It's 4.1 litres approximately. I know it says 82 horsepower. It's not. Realistically, it's more like 75. By the time it hits the PTO, you're looking 60, 65 horse. So you just have to bear in mind when you're looking for attachments, just make sure it's within that power band so that you're not straining the machine too much. Otherwise your implement's not going to work at its best. You've got 2 hydraulic pumps. They're fed through these pipes to the back end. This setup's a bit janky because when I bought this, something a bit strange was going on. These pipes were, you've got the rods for the clutch. They were sort of hitting the rod and it just wasn't very elegant, so I've had to reposition it. It doesn't look very elegant now, but at least things aren't crashing into each other. That's going to get fixed at some point. Obviously got your starter.